please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hi, good afternoon. You're watching Your Stocks. I'm Samira Abdi, and with me is my colleague Mangalam Malu. Well, for the market, it looks like we've actually taken just some extended weakness now on the market. So we're down about 0.5%. In fact, it's at the day's low. The mid-cap index is down as well, about 100 points. The Sensex is down almost about 180 odd points. And look at the likes of, Infosys, Reliance, IOC, all of them, in fact, are now heading lower. We were speaking with Lata actually just a short while back, and a lot of the weakness in the equity market could perhaps be because of the nervousness that we're seeing in the currency space as well. So the rupee headed perhaps for quite a weak closing today.
Absolutely. 2-month fall, the largest fall intraday in 2 months. And the mid-cap index is actually quite interesting, Sumera, because all through today's trading session, the mid-cap index was the one which was outperforming. And right now, that has seen a bit of a decline. And when that happens, maybe the street believes that, yes, there is a little more downside as far as the markets are concerned. Still holding on to the 10,550 mark for the Nifty. But a lot of these index heavyweights, you spoke about Infosys and Reliance, both of them at the low point of the day. In the mid-cap space, we have the likes of BHEL, as well as Reliance Group companies, Reliance Communications, all of them should come up for you. Both of they're taking a bit of a tumble. Even the pharmaceutical space, Granules, for instance, that one's seen a cut of almost 4% in the last few minutes. But it is really the advanced decline ratio which is telling you the story of the day at the widest point as we speak. In fact, I think we have Ashwini Gujral with us. Ashwini, this sharp reversal that we've seen intraday, what do you make of this, especially the pronounced cut on the Nifty Bank and the mid-caps?
Towards the close generally indicates that this is some sort of institutional selling or profit booking. So once the next 10 points are taken out, then the next 1.5 hours are going to be fairly bad, and chances are that the Nifty and the Bank Nifty could lose substantially more. And given the way the market breadth etc. is reacting, I would think that the chance of a breakdown is fairly high. So anybody who has long positions should avoid carrying those positions, say below 10,540, 550. If this zone is broken, we may hang around here a bit, but the way we've fallen vertically sometimes indicates that the selling pressure is only increasing.
Right, Ashwini, as we speak, another heavyweight has also joined the declining pack. That's HDFC Bank. That one's moved to the low point of the day. In light of the fact that tomorrow is expiry, 10,500 does have the maximum put build-up, would you concur that maybe the fall could be a little more brutal given that we're close to those levels?
See, expiries generally accentuate moves. So that could be a sign, because anybody who's short or long generally would tend to cut positions if the movement is sharper. So in an expiry week, if you have a breakout or breakdown, it generally is a fairly sharp one. And the way we are making a heavy meal of 600, 620, I think the market wants to move decisively on the other side.
All right. Meanwhile, keep an eye out on the US bond yields as well. Surbhi tells us that it's at 3.03. 3.04 was what it was in 2011. 3 plus was Jan 2014. So 3.03 is where the US yields are. And yields across European markets are also spiking. So there we have it. The US 10-year bond yield, 3.03. Our own bond yields actually closer to that 7.77, 7.78 mark.
Right, so that's our own market, and some more numbers also coming through. So Rel, Nippon, AMC, I think on the face of it, it's looking okay. So revenue is up about 17-18 odd %. In terms of their bottom line, they've seen a growth of about 35%. This, some bit of a muted performance in terms of operationally. Even their margins have now come down to about 31%, but we have seen a rise in redemptions in March, so perhaps that could be impacting the stock. But for now, the stock now has turned flat, but mildly in the...
The big point of today's trading session, or today's talking point, was the real estate development plan that came by. Manisha Natarajan now joins in with the key highlights of the Mumbai Development Plan 2034, the press conference that went by, and she'll give us the key highlights. Manisha.
Yes, Mangalam. Well, I think some of the key highlights are that the focus, which was expected on no development zones being open for construction activity, has happened and has gone through. Now, I'm just going to read out some of the key highlights which we've noted so far. 2,100 hectares of NDZ will come under affordable housing for construction. Another 330 hectares of salt pans will also now be used for creating an affordable housing stock for Mumbai Island region. Now, all provisions of FSI, of new FSI, will be applicable to ongoing as well as new projects, and some of the projects which are also completed. So we still have to read the fine print of that, but you know, existing projects which have got recently completed could also benefit from the FSI, which in the island has now been taken to 3. Now, ease of doing business has been addressed under the development control rules. Remember, DCR rules have always baffled Mumbai developers. There's been another word, interestingly, which has been added, calling it not only DCR rules, but development control rules and promotion regulations. So, you know, giving that twist that it's not just about controlling the industry, but also helping them promote the business. Press conference also addressed at the fact that Mumbai has to look at employment generation, and the entire plan will look at creating at least 8 million jobs in the city by 2034. The interesting point to note here is that the Chief Minister did not address the press conference. The Municipal Commissioner did, which is kind of strange because we were told that the Chief Minister will be there. It is an extremely important aspect of what he wanted to bring in. The salt pans for development has been something that he's been personally following up and has been wanting. After the 5 key infrastructure projects in Mumbai have taken off, the affordable housing piece was the missing one under PMAY. So we're very surprised, but we'll give you more details. But these are some of the highlights. And of course, as we get the note and the entire development plan, which is now going to be notified, before I hand back to you, I think an important point to note is that there's still some room for any objections which may come across, and there has been some room left for town planners to come up with any kind of big issues if they notice. So we are taking it as 90% through, but 10%, if there is a big flaw, I guess the government has left that room open to address it.
All right, Manisha, thanks very much for that. We'll let you go and go through the document and also speak to some more experts and come back to us with more details. For the moment, thanks very much. Well, apologies to all our viewers who've sent in queries to have them answered. Let's finally get started. Sandeep Wagle and Vijay Chopra now join in to answer all those queries. And the first question to us comes in from Zeena, who writes to us from Mumbai. She holds 66 shares of Ultratech Cement, which she had bought about 10 years ago at 1250 rupees. She's a long-term investor and wants to know whether to hold or to sell. So first up, good afternoon to both of our experts. Vijay, let me come to you first on this, because numbers from Ultratech expected any time now. What would you advise somebody who's been holding on for 10 years to actually take a decision before an event like an earnings?
Well, if somebody is holding for 10 years, I think that they haven't cared about the results, and that's the reason why she's sitting on such a huge profit. So I would recommend that she can, continue to hold until and unless she needs money. One point is that, Ultratech as a company is in a very big consolidation move. So they are doing acquisitions. They are trying to get more and more companies into their gamut. And due to that, their overall capacity expansion has happened. When you do capacity expansions, you've got economies of scale. Then you've got control over the pricing. So I think that Ultratech is one of the best placed cement companies in the country. And if she keeps on holding for a longer period of time, I think 4,500, 5,000 is also quite possible on the stock. There might be course corrections. But again, being a long-term investor, invested for 10 years, I don't think she needs to worry much about the results which are coming. So continue to hold the stock. It's a good stock.
All right, continue to hold the stock. Thanks a lot for that, Vijay. Just keeping an eye out on Bajaj Corp results. On the top line, the company's posted a growth of close to around that 8.5% mark, which is pretty much in line with what we were expecting. Kotak had put out expectations. 224 crores is what they were expecting on the top line. The company's gone ahead and posted about 221 crores on the top line. The bottom line is where things are a little amiss, because the growth has come in at just about 5% as against an expectations of 14% growth. So maybe it looks like it's a bit of an opportunity operational miss. We'll try to get the EBITDA up, but 55 crores on the bottom line versus Kotak expectations of 60.1 crores. We'll watch out more for the press release that comes by later and tells you about the volume growth that the company has seen, especially in their almond hair oil business, because that accounts for majority of their business. So we'll keep an eye out on that. As of now, net profit is below estimates. The top line is pretty much in line, so seems like it's a bit of a marginal miss.
It looks like there's some bit of stability now in the market, so near the lows it seems to be settling, at least for now. Let's get back to answering our queries. Rupesh Kulkarni is on the line with us from Nasik. Hi Rupesh, how can we help you?
Hello ma'am, good morning.
Hi, good afternoon.
मैम मेरे पास 5,000 शेयर है टाइटन के काफी लंबे वक्त से होल्ड कर रहा हूँ, तो आगे का कैसा स्ट्रक्चर है, उसका क्या है, तो
ओके रुपेश, पहले तो मैं आपको मुबारकबाद देना चाहूँगी कि आपने एक अच्छा इन्वेस्टमेंट किया और उसमें काफ़ी आपने कन्विंसिंगली उसमें निवेश किया है एंड उसी का फल आपको मिल रहा है. सो अबाउट 15 lakhs is what he's making. Sandeep, he's a long-term investor. He's held on for a bit. He's been rewarded and quite adequately. So how would you advise him to proceed?
I still see a hold in this with a stop loss of 860. My 12 to 15 month target could be anywhere between 1140, 1150. So I would recommend a hold.
Recommend a hold on Titan. रुपेश जी, आप 15.5 लाख रुपए बना रहे हैं. संदीप जी की राय यही है कि आप इसमें बने रहिए. आपको 1150 तक का टारगेट मिल सकता है अगले 12 से 15 महीनों के बीच में. Now let's move on. We have Vivek Malkani, writing across from Mumbai, holds 75 shares of Sterlite Tech at 140 rupees for a month. Short-term investor wants to know whether to hold or sell. Vijay, Sterlite Tech, mid-cap IT doing fairly well. He's sitting on some money, holding for a month. What would your recommendation be?
Well, I think that this is a fantastic company, and the kind of run-up that Sterlite Tech has shown in the last few days, I think this is also stupendous. This can all, provided the markets support a bit, this can go up to around 400 odd. So my recommendation is that as the stock goes up, we can exit around 400, and that would be a good time and, invest in some other stories. So again, a good pick at a good time, and in a very short span, he has recently, earned a profit as well.
All right, our next query comes in from Sangeeta Kulkarni, who writes to us from Pune. She has 150 shares of M&M Financial, which she's bought in at 372. She's been holding on for a year and a half. She's a long-term investor and wants to know what she should do at this point. So Sandeep, doing okay for now. She's making a bit of money. But what's the call on M&M Financial now for somebody who's already doing well? Can they remain invested?
Well, I would recommend a hold. The basic pattern is positive. Hold with a stop loss of 400. My 12 to 15 months target would be anywhere between 680 to 700.
All right, a target between 680 to 700 on M&M Financials. Hold for the long term. Let's keep an eye out on the markets. We've seen an extended cut, some stability around the 10,550, 10,560 mark on the Nifty, but a couple of these banks are taking it on the chin, and now aiding that or adding to that fall is the likes of Ultratech Cement just ahead of numbers at the low point of the day. Metal stocks, Vedanta at the low point of the day. GAIL too has corrected about 3.5% from the highs. Talking about the banks, it was SBI which is currently sitting at the low point of the day.